Hey there, happy day 1099 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business, and just doing things digitally versus the old-fashioned brick and mortar way, doing things online on the internet. Started doing that in about 2017. Didn't really do much, I'll admit it. Didn't really do much, didn't really try much. Just was in massive learning mode for the majority of 2017. By 2018, decided I needed to not just learn stuff, I needed to actually do and implement and take action on the things that I was learning, or nothing was going to happen. My original intention was to duplicate my offline brick and mortar success in the online world. And I will admit, not there yet. Still haven't been able to do that, but not giving up either, continuing to work on that. And that's why I document my journey and talk and share what's working, what's not here on this little segment every day. Why? Because I have, I'm going to dump some rocks here, super bad vision. I'm actually legally blind, and it doesn't work for me to document things by writing them down anymore because I can't read them. So unless I'm going to blow them up with an enlarger onto my computer, it doesn't really do me much good. So what do? Instead, I create videos. I do videos every day, a couple different segments. Starting tomorrow, the next Get Up and Go challenge. Going to do, February is a 28-day month, but I'm sure we'll go over into March, because I always have found that, at least last year, the 30-day challenges were better in terms of me, as well as the people participating, getting real progress, real movement from it. And it's interesting, our 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that centers you, today was about change and progress. It says, progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. This is, of course, attributed to George Bernard Shaw, and it fits perfectly with, we're launching another Get Up and Go challenge tomorrow, because the Get Up and Go challenge is all about change, and making change and challenges always work out better for you after you've experienced them than before you found yourself in the midst of a change or a challenge. COVID-19, perfect year to really hone in on the process of change. And I use something called the SOAP framework. I'm going to grab this and probably knock everything down. But I use a SOAP framework that I ended up calling it that. I don't know, it wasn't the first, maybe the second or the third 30-day challenge last year, Get Up and Go challenge, is when I was like, oh, SOAP is a perfect way to describe the framework that I use automatically and have installed in my subconscious anytime I'm faced with a change or challenge. And so that's what I teach now in this 30-day Get Up and Go challenge. And I don't just teach it, we actually do it and experience it and practice it in all 7 areas and aspects of our life, not just financial, not just emotional or spiritual, but all 7 areas. And do you know what those are? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. I learned them in that order, so I thought of what would be a better way to remember them, a better way to 7 is a good number, because we as human beings are very good at remembering things in groups of 7. I don't know why. I haven't done studies on it, but that's what I've learned over the years of all the experts that do mind studies and things, that we can remember 7. So I think Tony Robbins is who I originally learned that from, and it's stuck in my head. So it's what I've used throughout my life to think about and try to create. And I think balance is BS personally, but people say, well, you have to have balance in your life. Well, those are the 7 areas you want to try to have balance in. And balance doesn't mean equal, right? It's just like equal, and I'm trying to think about a way to describe that. I was thinking about racism, because that's been such a big topic this year. But racism means we don't consider race. It doesn't mean that we do more for a certain race or another. And again, I'm meat axing that, so let's go to a different topic. But our Supersize Your Business topic today, our idiom for today, was one man's trash is another man's treasure. Thus, the rocks and toilet paper rolls. I had toilet paper rolls and rocks, and I told a couple stories about my grandparents and my grandmother, because my grandmother, and she added the love of rocks to all of us. I have a huge heart-shaped box on my desk that is absolutely overflowing with rocks that I have collected throughout my life and throughout my journey, because rocks, guess what? They're awesome. They're usually free, or you can buy them in stores when you go places. But it's fun to find them in the places that you travel and go, because then they have a specific and special memory for you. So always been a rock finder. And I was, my grandparents were, probably my grandparents' parents were, and my kids are. It's kind of like the love of caramel. Some things just get passed around and down from generation to generation because they work and they make us feel good. Rocks make me feel good. That's why I always have rocks around me. And you can take rocks and you can make them into cool things, right? Like this one's been polished, and it's just a worry stone, a good worry stone, that if I am feeling worried or something, or if I just want something on my walks, I'll put a rock in my pocket. And it just reminds me to focus in on the things that I'm grateful for. You can also take rocks and you can turn them into things, and you can package them. You can sell them to people for, this one's about calm, being calm. I bought it in 2020, which is really fitting, right? That we are having such a crazy year, and I bought these calming crystals. I was going to give them away as a gift, and I'm like, you know what? I could use more calm in my life, so I ended up keeping them. Plus, they're very pretty. They're purple. One's a crystal, and I can't read the box. One's amethyst, and one's a clear crystal quartz. So they're both beautiful, and they have calming effects, apparently. I've only had them out of the box once, but I should probably take them out more often. So one man's trash is another man's treasure was today's expression, which is a great one because it comes up all the time. At least it's come up all the time in my life. Remember my ex-husband used to find stuff that I would get and keep and use and have, and he didn't think I was using it enough, so he would get rid of it, and I would get upset because, to me, I wanted those things. I had those things because they represented activities and things that I loved and wanted to do when I had the time, right? Remember, we all have things around us, and I'm working on a project right now to go through a lot of the treasures I moved with me from my last home to decide if I need to let them go. I let go of a lot of stuff in 2019 and early 2020, but now I'm going through it again and saying, all right, haven't used this stuff in a year. I think I can probably let the vast majority of it go, or I need to organize it in a way that I can actually have access to it so that I can use it. So that's my big weekend project this weekend. That and getting ready for the next Get Up and Go challenge. Got a little rainbow surprise for this challenge. Going to do something different, which I love doing something different every time I do a challenge. I know a lot of people do challenges and then they make them evergreen to market to people. I do them to actually personally grow and develop right along with the people that I'm doing the challenges with, because I guess what's the point of doing them if you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again? I want it to grow and evolve and change as I'm doing it. So that's what I do. So that's starting tomorrow on the Get Up and Go challenge page. There's also a private group page which you can join, and in that, under the units tab, it's a social learnings unit on Facebook. You can go back and you can see all of the previous challenges. You can search by topic, or you can see the different topics that we use. In addition to the 5 30+ day challenges, there's another live challenge in there that I recorded, of course, and saved. And then there's at least 2 or 3 segments about just life lessons that I've learned along the way, mostly mistakes I've made and what I learned from them, so that you don't have to. Those are in there too. So you can search by topic or by subject or by challenge that you might be facing and get, a little snippet on how you might look at it, what you could do, what I've done. And, some of the stuff I've done has worked. Some of it hasn't. That's how we learn. I swear I have learned a lot more from the mistakes I've made in my life than I've ever learned from the things that went right the first time. Maybe you're smarter than me and are a faster learner, but that has been the history of my life. Is I make a mistake and then I solve the problem, figure it out, and I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that? And if I don't go back then and understand the lesson I was supposed to learn from that, guess what? Another year or 3 years or 5 years down the road, I'd make another mistake that wasn't the exact same mistake, but it was there to teach me the exact same lesson. And if I didn't learn the lesson then, guess what? Few more years down the road, bang, hitting the head again with another similar yet different lesson. I think of my health, and over the years, I've had definitely huge health challenges. And if I'd listened when I was young and done the things I should have done about taking care of myself, I wouldn't have had the next challenge and the next challenge and the next challenge. And then finally in 2010, when I had the sudden cardiac arrest and dropped dead, that was the ultimate wake up call a light bulb moment that said, you better pay attention to your health and your physical health, or you're not going to be here anymore. And I finally, at that point, made some lifelong lifestyle changes that have allowed me to still be here talking to you today. So that's it. That's day 1099 of What You Up To Now. I'm going to get back to my big project of organizing and going through the stuff that I brought with me from my old home. And it's one of those things where it's like the mess before the organization. You know, if you ever are cleaning out or organizing something, you have to pull it all out, lay it all out, look at it, and then put it back in the ways that you want it to be neat and organized. But in the midst of that process, it always looks like a tornado went off or a cyclone hit or something. At least it does when I'm doing cleaning and organizing projects. That's it. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in direct message. If it's, you know, something you don't want other people to know, but if it's something other people can learn from, ask in the comments below so that we can all learn together and grow together and progress and change together. All right. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.